Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Capricorns. This is going to be a special reading for you. We are going to um, go directly to our spirit guides, and I'm going to ask 6 specific questions. Um, this is a new format. What's kind of a new format. But I'm loving it because I feel like we know exactly, or I know exactly the questions I want to ask, and I have to say our guides have been answering those questions like immediately. So what we're going to do is take ask 5 questions, actually 6 questions, and we're going to use the psychic tarot for the questions. And then we're going to use the crystal vision as, we can say, a clarifier, or to go deeper, we'll take one above it. And then I am going to use the major arcana, but I'm using it in a different way in your reading. I have to say, I've been loving the way these readings have been turning out. I hope you do too, and I would love to hear your feedback. So let me just say, this is for Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising. I know many of you are intuitively guided, and I thank you so much for paying attention to your intuition, as do your guides. Your spirit guides, and I know I say this all the time, um, but I feel like I have to. Your spirit guides will use whatever means necessary to get a message to you. And sometimes you may not have like Capricorn in your chart, or you don't think you do, but something makes you think, like, I got to click on this video. That's your spirit guides. They're just nudging you. Um, all of a sudden I hear a lawnmower. I don't know if I should shut my window. I'm in between. So, anyways, this is also for those who may be in love with a Capricorn, platonically or romantically. Um, I would say just be open, because if you're here for another's energy, your guides know that, and they will still get messages to you. So let me tell you the questions we're going to ask, and then we're going to get into it. So, number one, what are you consciously or subconsciously manifesting right now? Number two, divine's message for you right now. But I also added in their take, like their take on what's happening in your life, not in a judgmental way at all. Number three will be your potential for the rest of 2025. I decided, normally this is a reading for now, but now will be your divine timing. So, when this reading finds you, or you find it, that's your now. Because time is fluid. So, but anyways, I figured we're halfway through the year. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything else that we need to know about the remainder of 2025. And then we're going to ask about your love life. What you need to know about your love life. Is there any new love, old love, existing relationships, whatever needs to come out will come out. We will then ask about your money or your career, your money and your career. Some of you, your creative house, you know, I definitely feel already there may be some who have some, the word I'm getting is grand ideas, but maybe haven't moved on it yet. So this may be the time. And then last but not least, what major arcana is supporting you now and really for 2025? So, what has been supporting you and will continue to support you through the major arcana's energy? Okay, all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the reading. I'm going to bring the lid down. Still deciding whether I should shut my window or not. We'll let it be. Okay. So we just want to calm our energy, kind of just release like any expectations and be willing to go with the flow. And that just means to me being open to hearing the messages. And then, ultimately, in most things in life, you do have the ultimate say in most things. So let's go ahead and give the Psychic Tarot one shuffle. Everything is pre-shuffled, by the way. I just like to give it a shuffle with you here. So let's get these ready. We'll give them a cut. And they are ready. Let's go ahead and do the same with the crystal vision. Okay, I'm going to shut my window in 1 second. Let me pause you for 1 second. Okay. I want to give the crystal vision one more shuffle. I didn't really love that shuffle. So one more. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we're going to put them here. Slide everything down a little bit. And then the major arcana. So give them just a quick shuffle. I know some are probably saying, why didn't you do this beforehand? I did. But I also like to do it with you here, your energy here. We'll put those right there for right now. Um, part of me feels like it releases any doubt. I don't know if tarot readers stack their decks. I don't even know how to do that, how you would do that. But that's one of the reasons, just to remove any doubt, so that divine can surprise you the same as I am always surprised in a reading. So let's go ahead and get started. So, what are you consciously or subconsciously manifesting right now? I say subconsciously because sometimes consciously we don't realize it. So, it could be your soul. So, let's see. The waiting game. Waiting game. Slide these over. Let's take a crystal vision right above. Look at this. The Knight of Cups. Some of you are waiting for love. You're waiting for a love offer. This is an unexpected cup of fulfillment, but it's interesting because it is coming above what they call the waiting game. So part of me is like torn. Is this a good thing? Is this something that I should not wait on? And what I want to do is I'm going to take a crystal vision. Look at that, the 8 of Cups. So I just wanted to take, we'll put it right there. 8 of Cups, emotional clarity. Interesting. It's funny because I feel like some of you may be waiting or hoping to manifest love. And that may be the case. But the 8 of Cups coming out, which is mirroring that Knight of Cups, makes me feel like there may be something that may need to end. And it's interesting because I'm feeling this twofold. I feel like for some, there is someone in your life now, but I feel like they're in and out of your life, like in and out, in and out. And I don't feel that you feel satisfied. And I totally get it. So I feel like some of you, especially 8 plus a 2 is a 10, which would be a 1, the magician. So I feel like Some of you are like, enough is enough. Like, you're not waiting on a certain person anymore. And the Eight of Cups means that you've had this emotional clarity. Um, and an eight is about a new beginning. So I feel like this Knight of Cups is not the same energy within the waiting game. I just don't feel like it's the same. I feel like this is what potentially I'm ending, I'm done with. And I feel like this Knight of Cups, because it is unexpected. Interesting how we're going to love already. Um, that feels like the perfect time for this Knight of Cups to come in, especially if you found emotional clarity. You know, it's like saying to someone, I've given you plenty of time. And and I feel like maybe having the realization of, you know, someone either loves me or they don't. Or maybe I should put it a different way, because someone can love you, but still put you in this waiting game energy. But sometimes love just isn't enough. And I am feeling again like here and then gone, here and then gone. So I feel like a lot of you have had it. I feel that. Or some may continue to stay in this waiting games energy. It's really, what are you manifesting? Consciously, subconsciously. I feel like the Knight of Cups is subconscious, and the Eight of Cups is what you're consciously working on right now. So some of you are just saying goodbye to the past, or goodbye to anyone who's playing, let's just say, mind games with you. I just feel like enough is enough. Okay, well, let's see what Divine's message to you, or even Divine's take on the situation. We have, temptation. This is your major arcana, number one. Um, the good news is that means the night, your major arcana coming out, where divine's message. First of all, I feel like it's a recognition of you, like they know what you're going through. I definitely feel now with this waiting game energy that, it probably is, let's just say, of a lower vibrational energy. And when I say that, I'm not putting other people down. It's just some people choose to evolve and some people choose not to. Um, but I feel like you have chosen to evolve. I feel like you are claiming your power. And even if you look at this image, person has their finger on the light, and the light holds this key. And this key feels like it unlocks a new door. So let's take crystal vision above that. Oh my God. Hello, Ace of Cups. I mean, right above you and right next to the Knight of Cups. This is love. This is love. And it can be love in many different forms, but I do feel romantic love. Wow. Interesting. And I feel like your spiritual team, I feel like what they're saying is, if you are in, let's say, an existing relationship, even a partnership, and it doesn't even have to be about love, but again, someone is playing what feels like mind games. Um, And, you must have some emotions for them. But at the same time, I feel like this is about you creating boundaries. You're drawing a line in the sand. What I feel like Divine is also saying to you is that you do deserve the highest form of love, especially if you've gone through the Eight of Cups, emotional clarity. It's almost like shadow work, which some do, some don't. But I feel like once we have emotional clarity, this person is heading towards the Nine of Cups, which is inner harmony, which I don't feel they've had for a little while. It's also the number of infinity. As above, so below. No beginning, no end. What if this was always meant to be your real love? And that's not to negate any love that you've had because, there's all different levels of love, and each one can teach us something. And maybe that's the case. Like, we start with lower vibrational love, we're okay with that for a while, and then we ourselves start to evolve because we want to. But others around us may not want to. And, naturally, the universe wants them to fade away because the vibrations aren't matching. Like is not attracting like. So allowing that to like fade away, that's what ushers in the new. So understand that sometimes when things start to fade away, it can be, it can feel a little bit difficult during that process. But I feel like what your spiritual team is saying is, but it's going to be so worth it. Holy cow. And we haven't even gotten to your love life yet. Hmm. Well, since I took one of the Gilded Tarot to see what mirrored United King, let's do the same with the Ace of Cups. Look at that, the Six of Swords. This is moving on. Moving on up to the east side. I love the Six of Swords because this tells me that you've had emotional clarity. You understand what has been toxic in your life. You know what works, what doesn't work, who's been toxic, and how it's affecting you. This reminds me of like times that I left situations with nothing other than what I could carry, but I was so happy. It reminds me of a relationship I was in and became very abusive. And when I finally got away, I've told this story before, but I didn't have any money and I got into a car accident and my friend was driving and all of us were okay. I mean, I got a concussion, some lacerations and that, but he told me to sue him. And I'm like, I can't do that. He's like, trust me, sue me. So I did. And I got $5,000, which is, to me, it was everything back in the day. But I used that to get an apartment for me and the kids. And I did it in the dark of the night, without telling the person. I didn't want them to know where I moved. And literally, we took what we could carry. Our blanket, our blankets became like our living room furniture, everything. But we were so happy with nothing but each other. So, goodbye, who's ever been putting you in the waiting game. Wow. I think it's also letting you know, um, because all of a sudden I'm feeling that not just this energy of the waiting game, but there could be prior relationships that maybe is the reason why you were waiting on someone. But I feel the Six of Swords is not just about this waiting game, whoever that may be with, but I feel like it's just everything in life. Like now I understand it. Again, you have your finger on the light, which is unlocking a new door. We already know that new door has the Ace of Cups connected to it. And the toxicity is now behind you. I feel like that's great news. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's look at potential for the remainder of 2025. Beautiful. The Empress. No wonder. First of all, the Empress is or can be a mother figure. The Empress so creative, and I have to say, there's no way the Empress would allow herself to be in this waiting game energy. To me, the Empress is of a high vibration. And one of the reasons I feel is because she's gone through the experiences of all the queens, the good, the bad, the ugly. But yet she comes out, probably after some time, um, with what's the word I want to use? More clarity than ever. The Empress knows herself or himself, whether you're male or female here. This is definitely talking about your creativity and what do you want to bring to the world. Remember the Empress is loving and nurturing, which I think is important because we have the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups. She doesn't have to have love in her life. And if she is going to have love in her life, it has to be of like minded energy. Or I feel like she would just say no, thank you. All right, well, let's go above her. I'm saying her, but it can also be him. We have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is someone, when they look at a situation, they really look at the big picture. And this may be asking you to do that. Look at the big picture. The Eight of Cups, you are kind of breaking it down, but beyond that, I feel like, probably what's in the boat, or what you have left, the toxicity. I feel like that's what you broke down. You probably have already done that. And that's why I feel like you're sitting as the Empress. This is great energy for love and money. I often feel the King of Pentacles, and by the way, this king can be you. Um, but I feel like the King of Pentacles is dependable, stable, um, great with their money. Doesn't mean they always have money, but when they do, they know, chances are. I know some are going to be like, well, not my earth sign. But that's what it represents, loyalty in the upright. Definitely energy I can count on. I love that he's sitting by a tree. So that tells me wise, like wisdom, ancient wisdom. For some, this may also talk about like a past life love. But I feel for some of you also, like this is great energy of taking what you have learned, putting it in some type of format, and then doing your own thing with it, like creating a business from it, maybe where you're helping others. Remember, the Empress is so loving and nurturing, but she is nobody's fool. That's the thing. Like, the Empress is someone who trusts her intuition above all. So, if a lower vibrational energy starts to come towards her, she'll know it. She'll pick it up probably before it even reaches her. And they should just keep on going. So I really love the Empress here for you. All right, well, let's just continue what we're doing here. Well, hello, Ace of Wands. Passion ignited. It's go time. The Ace of Wands connected to the Empress, who is always receiving epiphanies. You know, every time I say that, then I make a correction saying we're all receiving epiphanies, ideas. But the Empress is someone who will take these ideas and create from them. I feel like she or he is receiving some special downloads. You know, what this is saying for 2025 is it doesn't feel like it's a time of rest for the rest of the year. It feels like it's a time of action. But I feel like you're going to want this action. Man, oh man. All right. Let's look at your love life. Interesting. Material and spiritual prosperity. That is the Six of Wands. Really speaks about victory and success. What I love about the Six of Wands is it's an energy where other people really are looking up to you. But it's because of action steps you've taken. It's interesting this is falling in your love, like in your love house, let's say. But I feel like just how this person is like looking over their grounds, you know, it's almost like a sense of look what I have accomplished. And I don't feel it in an egotistical way, just like look at what I've accomplished. Now, because other people are looking up to you in this energy, and this is falling under your love life, I have a feeling that someone is already, or you may already know, who is going to be in this Ace of Cups, who may make this offer. Well, I shouldn't say that because you may not know, but you may be feeling that energy. Let's see what comes above it. Eight of Swords. Self-created prison. Let's go right below it. Look at that, the Tower. Okay. I feel like what this is saying, because honestly, the Empress doesn't create these prisons. You know, it's her intuition she trusts. That is, you know, when I think of the Empress, which we all carry this energetic field, and it's something of a, let's just say, of a lower vibrational energy, something that maybe is not good for you, tries to enter into that energy force, I feel like all the alarm bells will go off. The Empress will hear it, recognize it, see it. But I feel like what this is saying is that for some of you, you have been concentrating more on your money. And I do feel like this is saying you are reaching success. And it's like, why am I concentrating more on my money or business versus love? Well, I mean, you know, maybe that's just what you want. But I feel the Tower is definitely a good representation of that. You know, somewhere there was a tower. But this Eight of Cups should really have cleared that up. And I feel like what this is saying, because we've already, like, love has already shown itself over and over. And I feel like for just some, love has been on the back burner, which is fine. However, and you don't have to accept this, ace, but that's not going to stop it from coming in. And I have a feeling, again, that someone admires you for action steps that you've taken. Okay, well, let's look at your money. We have the Chariot, Triumph, unlimited potential. No wonder we have material and spiritual prosperity. There's no limit on what you can do, especially if you allow yourself to be in the Empress's energy. And what does that mean? It means you're not allowing the past to affect your decisions moving forward. Now, I do feel like someone has said that I'm going to put my focus on my career or creativity. Again, there may be something you want to bring to the world or you've already brought to the world. This is showing you in a victorious state with your money and your spirituality, which makes complete sense sitting next to the Empress. So, and then don't forget the Empress is receiving the Ace of Wands. So, to me, again, it's go time. And let's go right below. Oh, let's go right above first. Wow. Hello, Destiny. Some of you're doing exactly what you were built to do. Some of you are taking natural talents and you're creating from them. I love that the wheel just came out because I feel like, number one, when the wheel comes out, it is your destiny. And I'm just looking at what's mirroring the wheel, which is also the Knight of Cups. So I feel like both are meant or have an opportunity to happen. I feel like your career is going to soar. Like, I have no doubt there. I feel like as long as you're willing to put in the action, but again, passion is ignited here. It's ignited for your money, but I have a feeling it's also like igniting your heart chakra. All right, let's go right below. Oh my God, look at that. Double wheel. The wheel mirroring the wheel. Baby, you were meant to do something. I feel like this can talk about partnerships, alliances, like someone you may be working with, you may invite into your business. I feel like this is also aligning love, like uh, definitely soulmates. And it's interesting because, again, I feel like someone's admiring you. You may not hear those words right away, but I feel it. And I just get this feeling. Well, I have a couple different feelings. Number one, I feel like it can be two people where it's divine timing. Like the wheel is bringing you together. Interesting. I feel like I want to go right in between the two wheels. Look at this. Six of Cups. I just had a feeling there was someone else involved with the two wheels. So, this is the energy. This is the Six of Cups, by the way. And this is the energy of nostalgia. This is the energy of treasured memories. You know how I felt that some of you, I feel you already know who's in this Ace of Cups. I'm not saying that you had a romantic relationship with them, but it feels like it's meant to be. Definitely someone you already know. And it's interesting how we have two wheels. So I wouldn't be surprised if you also had past lives together. So interesting. Coming over the Chariot. It just literally feels like, what do you want to do today, Capricorn? You know, the Six of Cups, I feel it's also very unencumbered energy. You know, it's like allowing my inner child to come out and play. Maybe it has been all work and no play. But I feel like this play that I'm talking about feels more of like a romantic type of play. Hmm. All right, let's see what's on the bottom. Oh, we didn't take our major arcana. So let's take your major arcana that's supporting you. Sometimes it could be advice. And now I realize I need to slide everything over. By the way, I'm going to change up my lighting system. Because I have a light right there that I feel like shines on the cards that makes it hard to see them. I know some want me to get like straight down, and I would love to do that. I just don't have um, my phone just won't allow me. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spread them out. I'm just going to let the card come to me. Judgment, your spiritual team. How beautiful. This is what is supporting you. They have a message though. Their message is calling you to the present moment. They're telling you there's about to be a rebirth if you allow. I love that this is the energy supporting you, your spiritual team. No wonder we have the wheel twice. You know, when judgment shows, really all judgment is asking you to do is to bring your energy into the current moment because there's signs coming in, there's messages, there's guidance. You know, that Ace of Wands, I feel like is coming from your spiritual team, and it is to ignite something within you. And even that Six of Cups, it feels like it's softening you. You're becoming softer in the best of ways. So, judgment just wants you to live in the present moment so that you can receive these signs and trust them. All right, let's take Crystal Vision. We have the Page of Wands, my risk taker. My risk taker. You know, I feel like what judgment is saying, number one, they are calling you to the present moment. It is about a rebirth, But I feel like you're ready for this rebirth. Eight of Cups tells me that, where you're finding emotional clarity. The Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups. I feel like for some of you, your spiritual team is like, well, you might have, it's fine to put off love, to focus on your career. I get it, but it's showing you in a successful state. And maybe whether I want love or not, I still feel like it's showing. Or there's a recognition of it now. Let's go right below it. Interesting. 2 pages. 2 pages. 6 of Cups, 2 pages. Can certainly be younger energy. But let's talk about what the Page of Pentacles really means. Page of Pentacles is about a learning, like a period of learning and growing. It can certainly relate to your money, though I have to say, Page of Pentacles is a very laid back type of energy. So it's not like a hustle. There's nothing wrong with hustling. But I maybe it's saying that you can kind of now lay back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. But then I feel like this page is about taking a chance. And I can't help but think it's talking about love since it's mirroring the Knight of Cups. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Movement, choices, and decisions. Wow, I get that, especially with the waiting game right there. And then we have, look at this, the Empress on the bottom of the deck. You want to talk about like-minded energy. Wow. We have the Hermit under movement, choices, and decisions. That makes sense. We're in the year of the Hermit. It is about spiritual reflection, but this reflection is to help you on this earthly plane. And remember that 2025 is represented by the Hermit, but 2026 is the energy of the Magician. But it's got you right now in a question mode. Movement, choices, and decisions. I feel like the main thing is the waiting game. And then the Empress, let's see what's under her. Well, hello, Ace of Wands, Ace of Wands. First of all, I hope you see the synchronicities. So now we have 2 Empresses, and that can be male or female, both male and female. Often judgment or our spiritual team will call us to use our feminine energy, male or female, or our masculine energy, like the Emperor. But here, it's calling for you to use your feminine energy. Well, I have a feeling it's partly because of love, but I also feel the empathy and the compassion, like in your heart. Again, I feel like you are softening in the best of ways. You may not even realize that because it may just be it might be happening naturally, just as it was meant to be. So 2 wheels, 2 Empresses, 2 Aces of Wands. How beautiful is that? That means each is going to be inspired to take certain action steps. That's why judgment is so important here. because they are sending you the signs. They are sending you guidance. And it feels like with two wheels, especially with the chariot. And by the way, the chariot is the card of Cancer, and we're in Cancer's energy. So, and then two pages. I just get a sense that you know this person. Hmm. Okay. Let's let's go ahead and take just a couple cards. I'm not going to clarify everything, but I do want to look a little closer at the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups. You know, it's interesting because I always say a knight, when you see a knight in a reading, that they are going to complete their mission come hell or high water. So, what is the Knight of Cups mission? To bring you in a cup. Well, literally, the very next card is that cup. So, this knight is completing their mission come hell or high water. But then it will be, you know, the ball will be put in your court. But let's see if there's anything else that we can learn from that Knight and Ace of Cups. Anything else? Okay, well, all right. Interesting. Seven of Swords, King of Cups, the Star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Also card of Aquarius. And then the Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. Now, let's start at the Seven of Swords because it's the only one that came face up. So I feel like what this is saying is there could be some of you who, you know, someone may have their hooks in you. But this really does speak of untrustworthy energy. There's no way I feel like it's the Knight bringing this in. I feel like this is attached to the waiting game. I definitely feel that. And then we have that all came face down, so I feel like they're meant to be together. We have the King of Cups, um, can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Again, the Star. And then the Eight of Wands. So what I think about, I bring about. Let's just say the Seven of Swords. Boom. Let's just put him down. Put them, you know, not down, but you know what I mean. Let's just move on from them now. Because I feel like their days are either numbered. But listen, with the Six of Swords, who's ever in the Seven of Swords, they can't get away with any bullshit because you can see it, you can feel it, you know it. And I feel like the main thing is just being really honest with yourself. Because this, I feel, is more about what's coming in. So the Star, remember how I said consciously or subconsciously manifesting? Well, the Star is about your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. And then you have the Eight of Wands with that. What I think about, I bring about. It's also fast moving energy. But listen, look how quick the Knight of Cups delivered what it was supposed to deliver. So maybe it will be fast moving. You know, maybe once this energy really connects, that's all it needs. King of Cups to me, male or female, would be someone who definitely enjoys love, but like a partnership. Now, if he was in reverse, I would be like, run, run, run. I was married to the King of Cups in reverse. So I know that energy. This is someone, it's interesting. Well, no, I don't want to put him down because I don't feel negative about this energy. I feel positive. And I'm not even going to say it has to be a water sign because I don't feel like it has to be a water sign. I feel like what it's representing is someone who will want to be in a partnership, someone who can give love, you know, hopefully, chances are, is good in love. And I do feel that this may move quickly. Okay, get rid of that. So let's just jump over and look at the two wheels. Some of you could have put love on the back burner because, you did deal with some difficult energy in the past. Um, and I do feel like you're really reaching success as it relates to your money. But I kind of feel like this is a soul's call as it relates to love. All right. We have the Strength card. Hello, Ten of Cups. Hello, House of Harmony. Love, laughter, joy. It's interesting. I haven't released it yet, but I did a Beyond the Veil podcast, and that's where I just psychically, why can't I say that? Pick up in your energy and deliver like any spiritual messages that your guides are asking me to deliver. And I'm just saying that because this reminds me of one of the messages. So the Strength card, interesting because he's looking back at the Eight of Swords, and they're both in age. That Eight of Swords self-created prison. But for some reason, I'm not feeling it like as self-created prison. I'm feeling more of like just putting love on a back burner for now. Yet, what is meant to be, I can't say will be, but will enter. It will have the opportunity to be. The Strength card talks about looking within, same as the Eight of Cups, right? But this is like knowing ourselves, the beast within, and taming it, coming to balance. And then it becomes your courage. I feel like that's what it's asking for you to have a little bit of courage as it relates to this love. Now, again, you can say no, but I feel like the way this love is being represented, wow. And I just feel that these two are meant to be together. Doesn't mean like life doesn't throw obstacles in between. It may have for a while. It's almost like a friend who then becomes my love. Because I feel with the Ten of Cups here. And by the way, it's sitting on the wheel. And it's mirrored by the other wheel. With the Chariot, which says triumph right in between that. Wow. Okay. Let's pick these up. And what I want to do now, let's leave these. Put that back over there. I want to bring out the clarifying love situations. And one of the reasons why I'm really learning to love this deck is it has a message on either side, well, on the front of the card, but depending on the way it comes out will be its message. But the main reason why I love it is it doesn't always talk about just love. So let's see. All right. Eternal renewal. In the cycle of life, understanding breeds hope for what comes next. Eternal renewal. In the cycle of life makes me feel the wheel. Understanding breeds hope. Remember, we saw the star card for what comes next. Well, I feel like next starts at the Six of Swords because this is where I'm leaving the past behind and opening myself up to all that may and can be. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out. It's funny. I call this a format, but I do it different for every sign for some reason. All right, you got a few. So we'll read them. You know, they came out, so we're going to take them. All right. Unexpected joys. Wow. Life's surprises are gifts, opening doors to unforeseen adventures. Capricorn. What was the first one? Eternal renewal, unexpected joys, unexpected love. Life's surprises are gifts, opening doors to unforeseen adventures. That's probably a little bit of the Eight of Swords. So, this is going to be an adventure. Delicate balance. Strike a balance between freedom and commitment. Wow. Strike a balance between freedom and commitment. Lightning strikes. Dismantle outdated ways of being to get a fresh start. That's kind of what the Six of Cups to me is. It is like a fresh start. And last but not least, moonlight unity. Use understanding to have greater emotional balance. Moonlit unity. Okay. And last but not least, let's bring out the romance angels. I mean, in a way, we don't even need to see them. You know, with Judgment out, your spiritual team, that's what Judgment is. It is your spiritual team. And they want your attention. And this, I have a feeling for a lot of you, like the signs, they're in this reading. So, whatever comes next, if you're able to clear, anything that has related to the tower, which I know you can, and I feel like many of you have already. I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, I was going to say, there's no way this cannot be a soulmate energy or even past lives. But that doesn't mean that we know that. But I have a feeling, as let's say you do commit to each other, I have a feeling you'll figure it out. Wow. All right, chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Undeniable. Reminds me of the lovers. It's undeniable. And then look at this. Someone from your past is returning to your life. It is not the Seven of Swords energy because judgment is coming into the reading. So anything that your spiritual team is advising you on would be for your highest good. So, and I feel like with two wheels, it just feels like a destined time. And that might be why some of you have finally jumped in the boat of the Six of Swords. Like you're feeling like, I feel something good's coming. So, when I talk about past lives, definitely feel it in this energy. I mean, they're up in the clouds. That's probably how the love will feel. Like we're up in a cloud. Chemistry, you won't be able to deny that. So, I think I should just leave that there. Leave it be. Why overthink it, right? Which is a Virgo trait, which I am. Like, I don't want to overthink it because I feel like it's so clear, to be honest. Like, your spiritual team, you know, I feel like they are so proud of you for the things you have accomplished, for the things that you've gotten through. Some of these earthly problems, but yet you still got through them. And it doesn't matter how long it took. No one's judging you on that, and don't let anybody judge you. When you're ready, you're ready. But this feels destined. So even if you feel you're not ready, something tells me that it's going to change your mind. This isn't any old love. It's destined. But also what you do. And listen, with the Ace of Wands, like don't shut down, or let me put it a different way. With the Ace of Wands connected to the Empress, and remember, same thing over here. So I could see some of you collaborating, like not just falling in love, but collaborating or working together, building a business together, whatever. I feel like always possible. But what I was going to say is the Empress takes these epiphanies and she definitely puts them to use. So the Empress sitting next to material and spiritual prosperity. Well, doesn't that just feel like the right time for the wheel to start moving into this destined time? It does to me. It feels like the perfect time because I feel like let's say the real hardship is behind us. Now, I know some of you are still going through this energy. Maybe you are still waiting on someone, and that is your choice. That's the thing. It's your choice. But judgment is mirroring that. Ugh. So I feel like this is an earthly, human decision. Can spirit change your mind? We shall see. We shall see. I hope this comes together for you the way that I feel it. I really do. Because I feel like, there's no denying that you can be truly successful. I already know that about you, anyways. You're very hard workers, you're dedicated to your craft. You're willing to put in the work, sometimes more, you know, sometimes you can become a workaholic. So don't forget, no play and all work. Now, what's that saying? All play and no, all work and no play. I forget the saying. I'll tell you why I forget a lot of things. I kind of shut my mind down, or my brain, when I'm doing readings, because I just want things to flow. So when I stop to try to think about something, it's like I can't figure it out, or I can't think of the name. But anyways, but you guys helped me with that a lot. So I thank you for that. Anyways, I'm going to let this be. I feel like this is so beautiful. I feel like it has the potential of, well, let me just put it this way. I feel like a lot of people would be envious to have this energy that's going to be naturally available to you. Are you going to allow yourself to fall back in love? Or are you going to just keep focusing on your career? That is up to you. But I keep saying it. I know, like I'm trying to end the reading, but I want you to understand how important I feel like your spiritual team, they want you to take some chances and risk as it relates to love. Like, I feel like what they're saying is you've learned a lot. But I guess you also have to make sure that you are able to give love freely. Now, as the Empress, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to let that be. Whew, like, what a reading. Um, you have abundance of all forms in this reading. But yes, you did have to deal with something, but I feel like, and then you do. You're heading into this destined period. I mean, triumph, material and spiritual prosperity, unexpected couple fulfillment, and then boom, it comes in. The synchronicities. All right. Wow. I love you guys. I thank you. And here I go. You know what I start doing at this time in a reading? I start thinking, how can I title this so they can understand everything that's in this reading? I don't know. I don't know, but I'll think of something. Beautiful, beautiful reading. I thank you guys. I love you guys, truly. I will be releasing, it's called Beyond the Veil, where I did do some psychic readings, and I call them cold readings. It's just me and the microphone and our spiritual teams, and then whatever messages they want to give me. I got a few names, some initials, that type of thing. But I'll probably release that later tonight, if not tomorrow. Anyways, some of you must be in there. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be talking about it. But I'm going to let that be, guys. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye. Happy loving.